Alright guys, what is up? It is Zertic here, and today I have an Overwatch video. I know I haven't made one of these in a while, but I have been playing the game a lot more, and today I was going to be covering the new reworks that are coming into the game, and overall the entire patch notes that came to the PTR. So first off, we're going to be starting with everything that people clicked on this video for, so that is going to be the Torbjorn reworks. So the first thing that I want to talk about here is his primary fire projectile speed being increased. Now this is something that if you don't play Torbjorn that often, or you don't have a lot of time on this game, it's going to look a little bit different. So as you guys can tell, it goes a lot faster. I also messed with the new colorblind setting, so my enemies are like magenta now instead of red. I don't know, it's just a change in scenery, I guess. So you know, if you guys can't tell, these do go a little bit faster, and if you play the game enough, it's pretty noticeable. Like for me, it was a pretty noticeable thing. Like they were clearly a lot faster for me, but if you don't realize that, just know that they are. So his reload time has also been reduced by 2 milliseconds. Now this isn't a huge change, but it's a little bit different because, you know, in some situations reloading just a little bit faster could save your life. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is that his turrets that are hit by him are also now the turret's, like, you know, primary focus. Now I'll go over that a little bit more when I get into showcasing the turret. So you know, let's just move on to his alternate fire now. Essentially his alternate fire spread has been, you know, made so that it's more reliable. Before it was actually a random spread, and it was kind of broken because it was a less reliable source of fire unless you were kind of right in somebody's face. So you know, this makes for a way more reliable fire. These are 200 HP targets, and if you're close enough, you know, you hit them with a pretty good, you know, one shot. So you know, that's pretty cool, because now, you know, if you're close enough, every single bullet will hit, and whereas though before it kind of didn't. So that's pretty cool. But the damage per shot has actually been lowered because of the adjusted spread. It used to do 125 damage, but now it doesn't. It only does, oh, I'm sorry, it used to do 150 damage, but now it does 125 damage. So that's actually a pretty good amount of damage, but with the spread, it's, you know, kind of, it pretty much balances it out. So you know, like I said, the reload animation has been a little bit faster now. And now his hammer, if you guys didn't know before, if you ever did a Torbjorn hammer fight, if you notice, his hammer was kind of hard to hit people with because it didn't have exactly a melee type of feel to it. But now they've made it so that it's more accurate to a quick melee. So you know, if for some reason you have this out, you know, to help your turret out, it'll be a little bit easier to hit somebody if you need to hit them with a melee next to you for some reason. So you know, there's that. And now we're going to be talking about deploying his turret. Now, I accidentally just put this on cooldown, so we do have 6 seconds. But deploying his turret is actually a lot better now, and this is one of the major changes when it comes to this character. So, as you guys can see, you throw it like it's an armor pack. It can be thrown as a projectile, and it goes to level 2 in less than 3 seconds. Okay, so this is a huge change to anybody that, you know, plays Torbjorn. So, first of all, let me just showcase this whole focus fire. The first person that I hit with this, it will actually automatically aim towards them. As you guys can see, if you aim at a certain character, it will automatically shoot them. So for example, let me aim at the character. Let's just focus on that again. Let's shoot this one right here. Oh, it died. We'll shoot this one. So as you can see, it targeted that. And if we, well, this one's actually gonna die if I hit it, but yeah, I shot at it and it aimed right at it. It pretty much just aims at whatever you're aiming at as a priority first. So that's actually pretty cool, and I think that that's a really big change. It's going to help a lot of people. Now on to even more bigger things. So first off, we have this new ability called Overload, and Overload essentially is, it's just Molten Core, but it's a little bit, like, you know, shorter, I guess. So here we go, I'm going to showcase this. It's basically 5 seconds of Molten Core. You know, you move faster, you do a little bit more damage, and, you know, it's just overall a little bit better. A little bit better than just walking around. Now, it's obviously not the full duration of Molten Core because your turret does not go Molten Core, and that's a huge part of Molten Core. But so now we're going to be talking about the new revamped Molten Core ability. So now this lasts for a certain amount of time, or whenever you run out of lava to spit out, whichever comes first, and it releases this. Now this does more damage to essentially pretty much tanks and Bastion, anything that has armor. So when it comes to that, it means Diva, you know, pretty much the rest of the tanks, Bastion, Orisa, and Bridget. So it's going to essentially do more damage to them over time, and it's going to also slow them down. So this is a big deal because, you know, well, for one, now Torbjorn is a huge tank counter, and he can also slightly counter Bridget. So that's pretty cool, and that's a pretty cool ability. Now another thing to note about these turrets is that if it is in combat mode, you can actually not place a new one. As you can see, I'm pressing shift right now and nothing's happening. So in order to get this turret to reposition it while it's in combat, I'll have to press F to destroy it, and then I have to wait through a 10-second cooldown in order for me to place a new one. So that's also something to note. So overall, Torbjorn, I think, is more of an attack character now rather than being just a solely defense character. And I think this is a really good idea when it comes to, you know, like the whole meta that's happening right now. And I think that this will really be used more to put on the ground rather than to hit people with. But I think hitting people with it is also a bonus because, you know, you hit people with it on the ground as well as hitting them with it if you hit them directly. So, you know, this is kind of like a double hitter. I think that this is a really good ability, and I really like it. So next we're going to be showcasing the other characters that got some changes, and there have been a couple, but not too many major changes to the other characters. For example, we'll just switch to Bridget real quick. That is not Bridget. We'll switch to Bridget real quick. As you can tell, her shield has went down from 600 to 500 health. Not too big of a change, but it should make a little bit of a difference when you're playing the game. Reinhardt's also experiencing changes, but they haven't let us pick him yet. So yeah, we'll go to Orisa, who has a pretty big change. As you can see, the shield is a lot different, and the spread on her weapon is a lot smaller. So you're gonna be able to hit, you know, more characters that were harder to hit from before. So, you know, maybe if you're sitting behind your shield, you need to kill that McCree from far away. You can now do that a little bit more effectively. And, you know, if you want to get a couple shots on the Pharah to help out your hit scan, that would also work as well. Projectile speed has not changed, even though it really seems like it has. At least the patch notes don't say so. So, you know, there's that. And then we have Soldier 76, who actually experienced a pretty, like, huge minor change, I guess you can say. I know that doesn't really make that much sense, but, like, it was a minor change, but it's actually a pretty big deal. So, as you can see, before it would take 6 bullets for a soldier's max spread to kick in. Now it takes 9 shots. So we're going to demonstrate this real quick. As we can see, for the first 9 shots, they were absolute lasers. You know, they're hitting pretty much the same spot until his max spread kicks in. So that means that soldiers are going to be more effective at taking out, you know, widows or not widows, Pharahs and stuff like that. And also with the new Pharah nerfs, you know, soldier is even more equipped to take out Pharahs. So that should be a pretty big deal, and especially in the next upcoming competitive season and Overwatch overall. So that's pretty big deal right there. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is the Pharah changes. Now this sucks for any Pharah main, but honestly it's something that was needed because Pharah is obnoxious. But I'm going to go through that and read through the patch notes real quick just to let you guys know what's happening. So her concussive blast cooldown actually got reduced. So that is this right here. It used to be 12 seconds, now it's 9, so she can do that a little bit more often. And, you know, that's a good thing for Pharah mains. Her attack speed is actually increased of her rocket launcher, so they move a little bit faster. Or, like she can fire them faster than she would have been able to before. But the huge change here is that the damage redistribution between the explosion and impact. So basically, AoE damage has been reduced from 80 to 65. So you have to hit a lot more direct hits in order to be effective with Pharah. So that means I'm not going to be playing Pharah at all, because I'm already bad with Pharah, and now it's even worse. Her impact damage also got increased, though, from 40 to 55 impact damage. So that's actually a big deal, because now it's encouraging more of a skill-based character. So now that you have to hit more things. The explosion knockback has actually been reduced by 20%. So you're not going to go flying away when she hits you with an explosive. And the self-knockback range has actually been increased. So now you go a little bit further when you get knocked back by this thing. So that's pretty cool. It just aims for a more skilled Pharah now, and I think this is a pretty good thing that comes to the game. And well, yeah. And we're also going to talk about Mei, because there's no actual changes to Mei when it comes to her actual abilities, you know, damage count or anything like that, but overall, like, she just, a lot of her abilities look different. So, you know, this looks relatively the same. I can't tell any difference between this, but you know, this is pretty similar as well, and the wall is also similar. I changed my color so it looks a little bit different, but you know, that's not really what I'm talking about here. This, you know, still looks the same. I think I'm gonna change my colors back, to be honest. I don't really like it, but yeah, you know, everything here is the same except there's kind of a thing on the ground here. But yeah, I'm gonna build up my ult real quick with this character, so, you know, just bear with me while that happens. I actually might just skip to it. Nah, we have it. Alright, so now this is the difference that I was really talking about. Now come watch this, guys. So essentially what's gonna happen is that it's gonna be the same old Blizzard, it's just gonna look a little different. So now, as you can see, it's more of like a dome, so it kind of shows you the exact, you know, radius and area that it's covering. So that's actually a pretty big deal, and I think that that helps a lot of first off, beginner players and just characters, people that just may not know how high in the air you're going to actually be taking these people. The other difference is that McCree has a little bit of a change, so now his roll is a little bit better. He can do it more often. So as you can see, it's only a 6-second cooldown rather than the 8. So that's pretty big for McCree mains. Wow, bad McCree. So yeah, you can just roll more often with this character. Nothing too huge, but that's pretty much that. In the next video, I will be trying to test out Torb. I'm sure they'll have a good arcade mode to let me showcase that. So that's going to be pretty much it when it comes to these changes. If I did forget anything, I'm sorry, guys, but I'm pretty sure I covered pretty much everything. And that's pretty much going to be it. So I hope you guys did enjoy. And if you guys do like videos like this where I can cover the patches, let me know, because I can definitely do them more often. But like I said, that's pretty much going to be it, guys. I hope you did enjoy. I'll see you guys later. Zertic out.